I want to talk a little about movies. Over the last couple of months, I've seen all three of the so-called big summer movies. Jurassic World, Rebirth, Fantastic Four, First Steps, and Superman. Now, I liked all three of them. They're what I would call popcorn movies. You eat popcorn and just enjoy the movie. But I'd like to see them again so that I can make some sort of in-depth review. I want to be able to actually jot down notes as events occur. All right. In Jurassic World Rebirth, I found myself saying, this is going to happen. And it did. I also found myself thinking, wait, what? Whenever there was a stupid decision by a character. Plus, some things just didn't make sense. With Fantastic Four, I wondered, why choose Galactus as the villain? Isn't he a bit much for a first movie? After all, he devours entire worlds. He doesn't want to rule the world, he wants to consume it. He's definitely more of a top-tier bad guy. I would have chosen a bit of a lesser threat for a first movie. And I think they should have waited to introduce Baby Franklin until a couple movies into the franchise. If they're going to be more Fantastic Four movies, then this one was almost too much too soon. And to know that Doctor Doom could be next is, well, it's almost anticlimactic. Superman. I really need to see this again to formulate my thoughts. Now, maybe I'm getting too old, but I'm having trouble keeping all the events of the movie in order in my head. I can only remember individual scenes without being able to give you a chronological timeline of all the events of the movie. A couple of criticisms right off the bat. When people learned of the full message to Kal-El from his parents, they seem to turn on Superman way too fast. It's like 1 second he's their hero, and the next he's universally hated. And second, the monkeys. Yeah, the monkeys typing all the negative stuff online. You think that a guy as smart as Lex Luthor would just have flooded the internet with bots instead. Well, I liked Superman, but I really need to see this one again. It will hit streaming fairly soon, and the disc releases in September, and I plan to purchase the Blu-ray. There's also a really good making of Superman feature on YouTube, and I'll put a link to that video in the show notes. Now, finally, kind of a little inconsistency I noticed. I was recently watching an episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And this is the one where Spock manages, well, not manages, but Spock kisses one of the other crew members. And the first part of the shot, you see Spock leaning in, and he's leaning into her left side. Well, a second later, when he completes the kiss, he's on the other side. So I wonder if they just messed it up and had to reshoot the kiss several times, but I kind of got a kick out of that. It made me think back to, which was it, Pretty Woman, where when she's eating breakfast, her food keeps changing. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 different things that she's eating every time there's a shot of her at breakfast. All right, that's pretty much all I had for this time. I'm not sure if there's any really blockbuster movies still to come, but if I see them, I'll pass along my opinion.